Welcome to the Gorilla 8 video series, and in this lesson I'm going to go over how to use the set and location features in Gorilla Budgeting and how you can import information from scheduling, particularly set and location information, to a budget, to a linked budget, and then categorize certain line items with the set and or location flag. So you can then see how much you are spending in the budget just on set and location. So let's get started. So let's go ahead. I'm going to launch a schedule here, a sample schedule. And for example, in the categories here, there is set dressing, but I'm going to create one called sets because that's could be actually different than set dressing. So let's go ahead and create a new category. And I'm going to use this untitled category down here. And I'm going to call it set. And if you want, you can give it a color. I'm not going to worry about that right now. And click OK. So now we do have, well, let's go ahead and turn it on because it was turned off. So let's go back up here. Because here you could see that, there it goes right here. It was X'd out. The categories with the green check mark are turned on. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And well, what the hell, since we're here anyway, let's go ahead and give it a color. Okay. So now that we have set in our list, as you can see here, let's just add a couple of sets here. Now, if I create them here, they will automatically add to this particular scene. I don't really want that to happen. I just want to create the sets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out and I'm going to go to elements because these are categories for elements. I'm going to click on elements. And what I'm going to do now is in elements, I'm going to create a couple sets. So I'm going to click on plus. Here in the category, we're going to click on this option here, set, which is what we just created. Now it says here, edit element after creation. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to literally just for simplicity's sake, I'll call it set 1. And I'll do it again. I'll create another one. And again, you can put in whatever you want here. Turn that off. And we'll do just one more. Okay, so now if we go to the filter up here and select set, we can see there are 3 sets, but I'm just calling them set 1, set 2, and set 3 for now. Okay, let's go ahead now and I'm going to pop up. I'm not going to create any locations. Locations are usually created here in the location module, which you can see here. And these can be imported into the budget. I'm going to turn that off. With the days needed and the amount. We can do that. But we're going to use, there's 2 types of locations you can import into the budget. There's a location from the location module, and then there's a location that you want to add to a particular line item. So there are 2 different things. I'm going to go over both. All right, I'm going to close this up. Now let's go into the budget and see what we have here. So this budget here is just a sample budget. I have linked it already to this particular schedule, so we can import information from there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the budget. And let's go ahead, for example, and here's set operations. It doesn't really matter what category you put them in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and go into the detail line item. Let's, for example, go into rentals. It doesn't really matter, like I said. And what we're going to do is you notice that there's 2 columns here, location and set. What this means is that you can attach a location to a line item or a set to a line item. Now, if I click on set, for example, I'm not going to see anything because I haven't created any set definitions in the budget, okay? But what you can do is if you have them in the schedule, I'm going to click on elements and go down to set. Now I haven't created any, So aside from set 1, set 2, set 3, so it really isn't very descriptive. And I could put in a budget. I didn't do that in the schedule, but let's go ahead and do that. Let's say there's just a flat rate here. And by clicking this button right here, what you can do is we're looking at the schedule now. I can put in a flat rate. Let's just say 1,000. And again, this you can usually do. You can do this in the budget. And let's just do 1,250, just again for some samples. And the same thing here. And let's do this for 1,500. Okay, so now we've got some rates here. And again, these are actually from the budget. They are not in the schedule. I'm sorry, these are from the, reverse that. These are from the schedule. They are not in the budget. Okay, so let's go ahead and import these three. Now I just want to do one for example. So let's click on one, and set 1 comes in, and I do have to put an amount here with that 1, and notice that the rate comes in. So now what I can do is I can create a set. Okay, so I'm going to click on set, I'm going to click on setup, and I'm going to call this just, let's see, we'll just, I don't want to make it too confusing. It really, the character name here, the set, this is a short code, so, okay, we'll just call it set, and we'll just call it set. This is good. This is very confusing because I'm using very simplistic terminology here, okay? Let's just call it 101. Okay. All right, so now we're going to attach that to here. So now I've created a set with the set definition here, okay? So let's go now to another line item, somewhere completely different in the budget. Let's say special effects. Let's say this is fine. I'm just clicking anything here. And let's go here and say set. Now notice the amount here is $100, okay? And let's do one more. I'm going to go somewhere completely different again. Let's go even to post-production sound, okay? And I know this doesn't really make sense in terms of the things that I'm selecting here, but I'm just doing it for example, and then set. And this, now that's a 0, so let's put something in here. Let's put in here 5,000, and so that's 1. Okay, so now, if you remember, I've created 3 sets. I've attached 3 line items to set. So now if I go in down over here and I select the print button and sets, what I can do now is I can see a summary. Remember, this is what we called it, set 101. These were the 3 line items right here with 100, 1,000, and 5,000. And the total sum 4 that I need to spend or that we need to allocate to the budget, and these are all completely different line items in the budget, okay, is 6,100. Now, I can go in and go to more options here. And I should have showed you this in reverse, but here's the location set printing option. And here it says print expenses on report. Now, if I don't want to show that, I can do that. And let's do the print here. This is the print preview. And oh, got it selected here. Print preview. And this is going to show you just the summary. So if I had another one, set 2, for example, or set 3, or set 4, or set 5, you can see that that line item would come in, okay? And so that's basically how you would do that, and you could see all the sets. So let's do the same thing now with location. So we might as well use this one also. So let's go ahead and create a location. Now, there are a few ways to do locations in the budgeting module. One way is to go down here and select the import locations option down here. And what this will do is this will, as long as the budget is linked, we can bring in a location from the schedule. Now I only have one with a budget here, so let's go ahead and import that. And this is brought in from the budget, and you can see the 2 days come in, and at 3,000, which is a 6,000 total. Now, I can just let that be, okay, and continue on with my budget. However, if I want to track, just like I did with set, how much we are spending at all the locations, okay, what you want to do is you want to create a location flag here, okay? So very similar to the set, I'm going to click here on locations. I'm going to do a setup, and I'm going to just call it location, because I just want to do one. Just call it all locations. Now, of course, if you are shooting in different areas, okay, you can do that. You could do one for each one. So let's say, for example, this is going to be locations, but this is going to be, let's say, in Canada, or you could, of course, you can do by city, or you can do by country. Let's do another one. And now, to be honest with you, this should be, let's see, LC, well, let's just call it CAN. That's fine. For Canada, we could totally do that. And let's do one here for Mexico, okay? And this is going to be locations for Mexico, okay? And we could do as many as we want. Let's just do those two. So let's say, for example, that Mr. Contini's office, we're shooting in Canada, okay? So now we have that as a flag, as CAN. So now let's go to another line item. And again, it doesn't really matter where you're going. You have to decide where you want to put everything. Here's one that says location expenses, so that would make sense. Let's go into here, location rentals, perfect. And again, you can import if you want from the budget, from the schedule. But I don't really have any more with a budget line item. I can certainly bring those in if I want. But let's just create one here. We could certainly do that. Well, there's already two here. If I wanted to create a new one, I could create the plus sound over there. So let's go ahead and say that this high school gym is going to be shot in Mexico. Okay, but this restaurant right here is going to be shot in Canada. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm allocating a location flag to different locations. So now, if I go down to the reports and select locations, and before I do that, let me go over here, and this is where it is also, so another ways to get it. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say don't print expenses first to show you that, okay? Click on locations, click on the sample report, and you can see that this is showing me now a summary of all the, well, this is just a summary of how much we're going to spend in Canada, 6,200, how much we're going to spend in Mexico, okay? And you can do this for as many locations as you want, but let's go in again to the printing. I'm sorry, not there. Let's go back to the preferences, and now select this option here, which is print expenses. So now, if we do the report here, we can now see the detail. So we've got the two locations here, the restaurant and the Mr. Contini's office, and the summary, how much that will cost, the high school gym, and how much that will cost. So this is basically how you would do flag locations and set in your budget. And you can, if you want, bring in that information from the schedule, or you don't have to at all, and you can create the locations and the set right here in Gorilla. You can export this information to Excel. So if you were to click the print button and click on more reports, email options, and let's see, right here, the Excel button, okay? We click this, and notice here, there's location and set. So let's do location, and click on export. And what this is going to do is, oh, you can go ahead and I've already done this, but let's say location, let's call this test. Now we do want to do Excel, so I'm going to click on Excel. It's a little beyond the view of the window. There we go. Just select Excel, because that's important. This is the type. Okay, so you do want to do that. I can click automatically open file. And of course, this will only work if you have Excel installed on your machine. And then we're going to click OK. And you can see a very simple Excel spreadsheet comes up with that information, and you can do whatever you want with it. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope this has been very helpful.